seem to be the busiest man in 85. Tell us, what have you been up to?
Again, okay. What am I? Well, I did my own record and a tour, which took a long time to do the tour, about 4 or 5 months. And
how long was, how many dates in the tour?
It was 98, plus the Live Aid 2, if you can count that as 2. I think I can.
Yeah.
That took it up to 100.
98, is that a lot, even for you? It's a lot of dates, is it not?
It is a lot, really. It's spread over 4 or 5 months, so it doesn't actually seem like day in, day out. And because I'd only do it once, well, it's only the second tour I've ever done on my own. So it's kind of still exciting to do it, you know, take the music out to people and see if they like it. I mean, you know, I know they like it on record because they buy it, but live is always a bit different. We had a great time. And
the Live Aid thing, I think, must be a legend now in rock and roll, to play Britain and America in the one day. How was that?
I was tired at the end of it, after I'd finished playing, you know, and sort of everything was let down. That's when I sort of realised just how, you know, how nervous the whole day had been.
Yeah. Were you involved in Live Aid in the pre?
Not really, no. I mean, because of it, I mean, when the book came out, I went to the launch of the book. I mean, in fact, there was only John Entwistle, me and Bob Geldof there. I mean, I guess everybody else was busy. But if I'm asked to do anything, I mean, and since Live Aid, of course, it's captured the imagination of everybody. I mean, I live in Sussex, and there's like Billingshurst Live Aid, there's the West Billingshurst Live Aid, then there's the East Billingshurst Live Aid, and then there's, you know, Live Aid down the road. I mean, I'm constantly getting letters of, because you did it once, can you do it again? And I always sort of try and sign some in them and send it off.
You tell me earlier on, Phil, that you're involved in the Prince's Trust, which is actually a charity to help underprivileged children.
Me and Townsend and Midge Ure did the first Prince's concert, if you like, to raise money for the Trust. And then Genesis did one, and then I did one at the Albert Hall, and then I did another one on my own tour at the Albert Hall. And I think, because I'd done so many, that they felt that wouldn't it be nice to get, you know, me involved with the running of the thing. So yeah, I was sworn in on Thursday, I think, as a trustee.
So what does a trustee, what do you actually do?
Well, you meet to discuss where the money that has been raised goes, and to make sure it goes to the right places, and you turn up at certain things which a trust dues, if you like. I mean, I went to see Back to the Future the other day as a trustee, and that was, I mean, there's perks, obviously, because you used to get to meet Steven Spielberg and see a movie, as well as being on the trust. So, I mean, it's not a... As far as I'm concerned, I'm not involved in the running of it. That is more of a mechanical thing, done by people that know how to run it. I'm just there with there's 4 other people apart from me that just sort of decide where to distribute the money and get involved in the events, fundraising. Yeah.
Basically giving credibility to the kids, I mean, street credibility.
Yeah, I don't know how much street credibility I have. I mean, it depends what papers you read, but I think, I mean, I look at it that without my involvement, or someone like me, kids look at it and say, nah, that's all people over 50 that don't really know what I'm going through. And so me getting involved on some level, say, well, yeah, but he does it, he's involved with it, so it can't be all that bad, you know. So I use the word soppy a few times, actually, because I think it's a kind of word that people think, it's a bit, I don't want to get involved with that, people think I'm stupid, you know.
Your video, Take Me Home, how representative is it of your life in the last year?
Actually, it was like a home video, really, because we did a couple of lines of the song everywhere we went. Well, not everywhere, but most of the big cities that had places where you could identify visually with it.
But this is on tour?
This is on tour, yeah. So when we were in Australia, we did the Sydney Opera House and the Sydney Harbour Bridge, things like that. But yeah, it was an idea that obviously you didn't know whether it was going to work until the tour finished, and you couldn't go back and shoot anything again, you know, because obviously it was an expensive thing to do. But yes, that was the first 6 months of 85 for me.
I know the most interesting video for me was Billy Don't Lose That Number. How did you come to put that together?
Well, we didn't have an idea. So, because I don't really like story concept videos, you know, as such. They don't really sort of do much for me. So I prefer the simpler things, you see. So we got together, the director, the producer and I, and we said, well, listen, I don't want to act out the song because it has got a storyline. Why don't we, you know, use the idea of not having an idea and directors coming to me saying, how about this for an idea? And almost sort of show how silly some of the ideas are. I mean, there's the I'm trying to think of.
First of all, who was the director on that one?
Jim Yukich.
Right.
And he's done the last 4 or 5 videos. But it was someone coming in and sort of, you know, the Fly one with the cars, you know. Yeah. I mean, some directors sort of put any old idea on any old song, and as long as it looks good, then that's supposed to be linked in with the music. But so it really, if you look at it, there's a Mickey take on Bob Giraldi in there. There's a
There's a few, isn't there?
Godley and Cream, yeah.
Yeah, we noticed that one. So you obviously get very involved in the storyboards.
Yeah,
Have you always?
yeah. With all my own stuff. I mean, as soon as I'd done Face Value and it was such a personal album, I said to myself that I wanted to be involved. I wanted to be representative of me. I mean, the band is a band, and you know, there's always three people's opinions involved, or depending on how big the band is. But with my thing, I wanted it to be representative of me. So I made sure the photographs that were sent to people were like photographs that I liked. What happened, what was written, the advertisements, the marketing, the videos, went through me, you know. And that way, I couldn't say I don't like it, but it wasn't my idea.
Do you have a favourite?
Favourite
Video?
video?
Of your own, I mean.
Oh, I think That Is My Number is, we had so much fun doing it because my wife's in it and all the band were in it doing cameo parts of the Mad Max stuff, because we were actually in Australia doing most of it when we were on tour there, and we had the cameraman that did Mad Max. He was working on it with us, Dean Semler, and it was just so much fun to do, dressing up as a samurai and all that kind of stuff. It was great.
Now, you mentioned your wife there. How is marriage a second time round?
It's going fine, yeah. I mean, we've been living together for 5 years, although we've only been married for a year, so.
Does she come with you when you go on tour?
Yep, we do. She always comes with us. Basically, whenever I go away, she's usually with me. There's only one I think it's an opportunity. One occasion when when she hasn't been there, and that was with when we did Eric Clapton's album in Montserrat, because we had no ladies allowed on that album.
Fine. Now, talking about Eric Clapton, you've been producing lots of people. Do you enjoy producing other people?
I do, yeah. We had a great time. I mean, Eric actually doesn't live too far from here, and he's a sort of our friend and a neighbour. Yeah. So with that particular instance with Eric, I mean, we had a great time in Montserrat doing that. I mean, you have a lovely time in Montserrat anyway.
Doing anything, yeah.
But we did that album, and I think it should have done better than it did. I think the record company weren't particularly behind it, 100%. But we're going to do another one.
When?
In March we start. I'm producing it, and Tom Dowd is helping me out on that.
Oh, that's right.
So that'd be great. It'd be, we're looking forward to that. And I'm doing stuff with Howard Jones. I'm doing a track with Howard Jones this weekend, in fact. Tomorrow we do it. Yeah, we're doing a song. I'm producing it, basically. I'll be playing on it as well.
What do you enjoy about producing most? Does it make you move differently from the way you would for yourself?
Yeah, it's just different. It's just a different, just fresh approach, you know, just working with different people. I'm just trying to think of what else I've been doing production-wise, because...
You've been doing a few theme music as well, haven't you?
Well, actually, the Miami Vice thing was just a little bit of writing.
And you mentioned Miami Vice there. What exactly was your involvement with it?
Well, when I was on tour, I played Los Angeles, and Michael Mann, who's the producer, executive producer, he came to the show. They've been asking me to do either write some music or be in it for a long time now, and I kept saying, yeah, but I don't really want to do any more acting. But they came to see the show, and they liked the way I introduced the band, which was as a game show, sort of lounge singer. And they said, well, that's the angle we're going to use. We'll write a part around it. So I am actually a game show host who, fiddles the money, the prize money, as it were, and then goes and gets involved in dope. And, of course, Miami Vice get involved.
Yeah.
And I actually get the better of them in the end. But I expected a cameo part, a few lines, and that was it. But I was in most of it. I mean, of an hour, I was in probably 45 minutes of it. So that was suddenly I saw the script and I realised how much I had to learn. And I really enjoyed it. Yeah. I didn't want to get back into acting at all, particularly.
Because you went to stage school. Which stage school did you go to?
Barbara Speake Stage School, which isn't in acting.
Yeah.
But I had such a sort of a funny few things that happened to me, not nasty things, but just things that leave a bad taste in your mouth when you're a teenager acting, and I always wanted to be a drummer anyway, so acting was never really that much of an interest.
No, don't fancy writing a rock musical?
No, definitely don't fancy writing a rock musical. Sorry, Dave.
Okay. Now, you haven't, as we said, great success with Separate Lives, which is the theme music to White Nights. You also had great success with theme music for Against All Odds. How does that come about? Well,
with Against All Odds, Taylor Hackford just approached myself and Tony Smith, who's my manager. Well, he directed Officer and a Gentleman, and he did Against All Odds, and he did White Nights. But with Against All Odds, he just came to me and said, listen, I want you to write a song for this film. And I said, well, I can't actually write a song because I'm on the road. So In fact, maybe that's him on the phone right now.
Help.
Someone answered that phone. They'll answer it in a minute. Yeah, so he came to me and said, "Will I write a song?" And I said, "Actually, no, I can't write a song, but I have a song which I've written, which hasn't got a home. Would you like to hear it?" So I gave him this song, which was at one point called "How Can You Sit There." He liked the song, and I wrote the words to fit the story of the film, and then called it "Against All Odds." Ah. So that was actually a song I had written a long time before, but because of that sort of successful pairing, if you like, he asked if I would like to do a song for White Nights. And Stephen Bishop is a friend of mine. He'd written this song called Separate Lives. And I was going to record it for No Jacket Required. In fact, I did record it for No Jacket Required, but we didn't use it because there was too many songs.
So you don't actually have to see the film or get a script or
With
anything?
Against All Odds I did, because I had to, the lyrics had to be true to what the film was about. And Separate Lives, I say, it wasn't my song, so it's Stephen Bishop had that to deal with. You know, he had to write the song within the framework of working with the film.
Now, amongst other things, in a really busy 85, you did a very successful project with Philip Bailey.
Yeah, we did that on one of the weekends off in the last couple of months.
Get a weekend off?
Oh, we don't work at weekends. That's when I put these other things in, and the wife sort of says, "Well, what do you mean you're not coming home for dinner?" But no, Philip Bailey, because he wanted to write, as we wrote Easy Lover together, he wanted to do some more writing. So I couldn't go there, so he brought Ray Parker, George Duke, and Nathan East, who played bass on the Phil Bailey album. But he brought Ray Parker and George Duke and Jeff Beck. We all got together in a studio one weekend, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. And really just threw around some ideas and came up with 2 songs. And which I haven't got time to write the lyrics for. So
there's no title?
No, there's no title.
But when do you think, when will they be out?
Well, his album's being done at the moment. Nile Rodgers is producing that because I'm doing this. I mean, I think otherwise Phil and I would have done another one together.
You're doing this, we haven't said what you're doing, you're in the middle.
This is Genesis, yeah, we've been going since October on this album, and we've got about 13 songs. We didn't have any songs written when we got together, because that's the way we kind of figured that's the best way to work at the moment, because if I do something on my own, then I record it. If Tony does something, he records it, and so with Mike. So when we come together, we just write as a group, which means that it's something that we can't do on our own.
Yeah.
And therefore
And it's got the Genesis label on it.
Yeah, it makes sense that that's the reason for keeping the group going, because we enjoy doing it.
So there's an album, that's the album you're doing now, which will be released in...
May or June, I think, sometime around then. And then we're going on tour in September,
86?
which will be Europe and England. I think we're going to kick off in England and Europe, yeah.
Well, you're certainly busy. You're keeping busy. You booked up, how long in advance are you booked up then?
Well, we're on tour until the spring of '87. And then I'm going to take some time. I'm going to do a Stephen Bishop album, I hope. These are things I want to do. I mean, I'd like to do some stuff with Paul Young.
Yeah. Oh.
And we've talked about that. I mean, he's doing another album in the meantime. Well, I think Hugh Padgham's going to be producing it. But anyway, I mean, there's things on the cards that that are obviously a little early, because I get asked by a lot of people to produce, but they want it now.
I'm sure,
you know, and that's the thing, and I can't do it now. I have to wait. And so I'm taking a lot of time in '87 to do some of the things that I want to do.
Okay, so that's Eric Clapton, some stuff for Philip Bailey, maybe Paul Young, Howard Jones.
Yeah. There's a Paul McCartney album just coming out as well, which I played on the track, because Hugh Padgham did that as well, because he's just as busy as I am.
He produces Genesis with you, doesn't he?
Padgham, yeah, he co-produces Genesis with us, and he kind of co-produces my albums with me, because he does The Police, so he's more than an engineer now, he's a producer in his own right, so you know, when we come together, we do it together.
So thank you ever so much. I mean, all the best.
My pleasure, yeah.
We're going to hear lots of you, I'm sure.
Hope so.
Great, thank you.
All right, thank you.